Friends.
Good morning.
Yay, we're doing a video. Ronnie, this is Ronnie Davis. She is a very good friend of mine and wanted a financial expert. What is your official job title? What do you do exactly?
I say that I'm a retirement specialist in the financial services.
Awesome.
Another way I describe what I do is I help families fall in love with their savings. That's
I like it.
My catchy way of saying what I do.
I like it. I asked Ronnie to come on today to Pack Leaders of Real Estate Project to talk about student loan debt. But before we start in that, I wanted to just to go into a little bit about Ronnie and what she does and her. And I've known Ronnie, gosh, 10 years or more?
Yeah.
10 years or more.
Yeah.
I say this a lot. I know her from leadership training,
right.
And I have a lot of awesome people in my life from leadership training classes that I've done over the years. But so Ronnie is a financial expert. We'll call it that. She helps people plan for the future. Tell us a little bit more what you do, Ronnie.
In regard to the student loan portion?
Not we'll get into the student loan, but like just an overall of your financial planning career.
Okay. What I do, I help families plan for their retirement. I do a personal financial checkup and see where their money is actually going. And I kind of give hope, and I guess it is kind of a scary thing when you talk about money and the relationship that people have with money. So discussing it one-on-one or in a relaxed setting where the fear is kind of removed from the table, because it's like this, we're just having a conversation about what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, what's going to happen if you die, if you pass away and leave your family with bills to pay and mortgages aren't covered,
which we all die.
Yeah, we're all going to die, and what we leave behind for our heirs is very important. I'm a single mom, so I'm passionate about this. I get very emotional talking about finances because I've had to think about my son. I've raised him on my own. I've had life insurance and retirement and a retirement plan since he was probably 18 months old.
Smart.
Yeah, and I also have my son in a plan. We put away $100 a month in an account that is growing interest, that's compounding.
You're teaching your son about all this?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. He comes to the workshops with me.
Vance is such a amazing young man, tall young man now.
Yes, now.
I had the opportunity to meet him when he was just a young little kid, and now he's just a very respectful young man. That's awesome. What a gift you're giving him to teach him finances.
Yeah, I wish, after I found out what I know now, and a lot of my parents taught me everything they knew about money.
That's all of us, which was not much.
And it wasn't much.
They did their best.
They did their best. My parents absolutely did their best. And my parents did a great job of protecting each other while they were alive. I wish I would have known about compound interest and how it affects me on a daily...
How it works.
Yeah, how it works.
Yeah, it's huge.
Albert Einstein...
Saving and using debt.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Compounds quick, and it compounds quick this way.
It does.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein was quoted as saying, "Those who understand compound interest will earn it. Those who don't will receive it." Or wait, I said that backwards. Those who understand it will earn it. Those who don't will pay it.
Yeah, will pay it.
So...
Yeah. I paid a lot of it in my life.
We all have. That was what we're taught. Like, you need to establish credit. You need to...
Well, they give you free pizza when you're in college,
yeah,
and they ask you to sign. We'll give you T-shirts. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna give me a credit card? Woohoo! Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Well, I'm glad we got to sit down today. We want to talk to everybody about student loans and how they affect purchasing a home.
Yes.
And Ronnie has one of the pieces of the things that she does is a student loan repayment solution
Yes.
program.
Yes.
But what I run into with clients a lot of times is that your debt to income ratio is affected by your student loans. And even if they're in deferment, and sometimes I think clients, because they think, well, it's deferred, that it doesn't apply to them right now. Well, I don't have to pay that for X amount of years. Well, when you're getting a mortgage, they will look at that and put that in with your debt to income ratio. And so I thought this was an important conversation to have, because so many times, like I say, clients don't think it matters.
Yeah.
And for the fact too, guys, if you do a bankruptcy, you cannot include your student loan debt nor your IRS debt. Your taxes, the IRS are gangsters. They are getting their money. So
one way or the other.
Yeah, the government, they're coming for their student loans, and they're coming for your IRS taxes. And yesterday I had done a post, and I didn't tally how many said yes and how many said no. I asked how many people have student loan debt. Thank goodness I paid mine off. I mean, I had only like 10 grand worth of community college that I never finished. But that ended up being like 30 grand after I deferred it for however many years I did. And I've paid that off since. But something you had brought up earlier, I negotiated to pay it off in a lump sum for less than I owed. But keep in mind, you get a 1099 for the difference.
Correct. And a lot of people, they're not aware of that. That's great. They think that part of their debt has been forgiven. And whether they understood it or weren't told, at the end of that term that you've negotiated with the student loan forgiveness program, whichever one you've qualified for, you're going to get a bill from the IRS because they considered it a gift, and a gift of that, and it's considered income, so it's taxed. So you're going to owe taxes on the amount that you were gifted.
Well, and
for
guys,
lack of a better word,
that's the same thing with a foreclosure or a short sale.
Exactly.
Same thing. You're forgiven X amount. You owe, let's say, $500,000. That you sold it for $300,000. That $200,000 difference doesn't just go up and disappear.
Right.
You are still taxed. I'm sorry. You'll be 1099'd for that $200,000, let's say, and you don't owe $200,000. You owe taxes on that $200,000 based on your tax bracket, and consult your CPA and your tax professional in regards to that. They know what to do with that. But same thing with student loan debt. Correct. If you are forgiven any amount of that, you still will owe taxes on that amount forgiven. So keep that in mind. And Ronnie was saying that her company has sets you up to be able to afford those taxes.
Correct.
At a certain time. So tell us, if I come to you, if I have a student loan and it's been in deferment, and I need an extension or I need a solution to repay it, what does that look like? What does your company do?
What we do, we'll do an intake. We'll get all of your information. We'll meet with you in person. We'll find out hopefully you have your login and password with you, account it is that you have your loan with. We'll log on and see exactly what you have. We need to know that, because there's lots of different loans.
Well, and most people, most people aren't on top of that. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You kind of, and then I'm sure with you taking the intake and asking all the questions, people are like, I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea.
Right.
So to really see what the interest rate is, what all of the terms are, you got to log into those websites.
And we have to see it. And some don't even have their login or password, so we walk them through the process to get that. What we do, we walk and navigate you through the process. All the programs we use are available to the public. However, we expedite it by our expertise of easing it. We're not offering you anything that's not out there already. These are things that you could do on your own, but most people won't take the time to do them on their own.
So are these government programs?
Mm-hmm.
These are government programs that are available, but you know where they are. And there's so many government programs for everything.
Yes.
But these are specific to student loan repayment.
Yes.
And you know exactly where they are based on my income, marital status, whatever, all kinds of stuff. What box do I fit in? Then you put us in, put me in that box.
Correct.
Okay.
And we don't charge a fee until we have a flat fee. Our fee is $995. We don't charge that until we don't collect that, I should say, until you've approved everything we've done and you're going to go forward on it. That's
until I say, okay, I like this plan, I'll go with this.
There's no upfront cost. There's a lot of time spent talking. There's a lot of time answering questions. And then we go and get on the phone with Navient and other providers and, wait those hours on hold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It can, what eventually happens is it'll be a 3-way call and you'll give us permission to speak on your behalf while you're on the phone.
Yeah.
But then we'll
kind of like a short sell.
Yes.
You get third party authorization to speak to them on their behalf. Correct. And then you move forward.
Correct.
Let's talk about some stats. I know you brought some numbers.
I did.
Like student loan debt, guys, is such a problem. I mean, people spend all this amount of money. Do whatever you want. Do what's best for you. But it's crazy to hear people have $200,000 in debt and making $60,000 a year. Like it's
right. It's
like you'll never get out from underneath that.
No. And what's the payoff for going for? Not everybody needs to go to college. We need more people in vocations.
I love
trades.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Kara, that works at ABC, the something contractors, and she's thinking of going to like even middle schools or elementary schools and getting kids more excited about being in construction and doing things.
We have a trade shortage for sure. New construction is being delayed 4 months because they don't have enough subcontractors to finish the jobs.
Yeah.
In Vegas, anyway.
Right. Back in the 70s, very few people well, if you want to compare numbers, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. How many college graduates there were per person. Now, everyone you meet has gone to college. Even your Uber driver has a degree. And what are they doing with it? There's a high majority of people that are graduating, whether you even graduate or not, but they're not working in the field that they went to school for.
Because things are changing.
Yeah.
The economy is changing, business is changing, and if you need a college degree for your profession, great.
Right.
Not saying it's a bad thing, but gosh, get a scholarship.
Right.
Get good grades so that they will pay for your college. Work 4 jobs to get through it. Like, don't set yourself up for failure down the road. That's scary.
Right. And, educate your kids on, okay, son or daughter, what is it exactly that you want to do that you want to go to college for? Maybe they want to go to a big name school. Well, here's a great idea. Maybe go locally to get some of those classes, the prerequisites, get those out of the way, and then go to the big school that you want to for the exciting experience of college. If it's something that requires, that I use that as an example.
Isn't it crazy they pay so much money to go party? Like, I got a lot of partying out of my system paying for college.
I have the advantage of, I have a 16-year-old, and one day my SUV was packed all the way to the back, and they were all these boys, and we were talking college, and it was kind of funny because one kid, he goes, well, I'm going to, I think he said ASU for the experience. And
well,
I said,
you better get a scholarship. I'm not paying for that.
Right. I said, that's wonderful. I said, and have your parents agreed to pay for that experience? Because I really don't want you to take out student loans. So I'm teaching these kids now. I'm going to drag
by
them to the workshop.
osmosis.
Yeah, it's like, no, let's think about this. What is the payoff?
Yeah.
I mean, I know there are wonderful colleges out there, but college really isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
And not everything you do requires a degree.
I think times are changing. Maybe before, at a certain time, it was just the answer. It was the only way to success. Right. And I think things are changing. Technology has changed so much. social media
Yes.
thing. I mean, we
Yeah.
have so many tools, cameras on our phones. Everything is
Right.
so cool. Like, there's a lot of opportunity now. But
So many.
hey, trades. I love a hardworking man.
Me too.
You know,
Guys
building a
that
house.
can fix and build stuff are
Woo!
so sexy. I wonder if they can cook too.
Exactly. So, you know, there's alternative. So let's go
Okay.
through some of these stats about student loan debt.
Okay, the student debt growth rate. Some of these numbers I can't even fathom. We'll start out at $2,975,000 per second. The student debt growth rate is growing. So to put that in terms that are really scary, how about per hour? $10,710,000 per hour. The student loan debt is growing.
10 million per
10
hour.
million
$10
per
million
hour. Per hour.
That's not like $10 million per hour. That's how much money. Is that just in the United States?
Yes.
Just in the United States. That's a lot.
Student debt growth rate. It's crazy.
That's
yeah. If we go even higher, 257,040,000 per day. And these numbers are so huge, I can't fathom it.
I can't even say them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The billions and trillions.
Yeah.
There's some other student loan facts. 60% of all students have loans, and the average loan balance is $30,000. The class of 2016 has an average student loan debt of $34,000, whereas the Gen Xers, which were the 35 to 49-year-olds, theirs is even higher, $40,000 per year, or $40,000 worth of debt.
Well, that's because they now have interest.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Right.
Gen Xers are paying interest if you still have loans that you haven't been in school for 10 or more years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
7% of borrowers own more than $100,000.
They owe more.
More than $100,000. I can't imagine having $100,000, and that's just for your education. That's not your mortgage. That's not anything else. It's frightening.
How many student loans default? Do you have that stat?
The default rate.
I just wonder. Yeah, Alfredo, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is.
Where is the default? Okay, the default rate in 2018 is at 18%. However, the other statistic we need to throw in there, the deferral and the forbearance is 33%. So that's 51% of loans
Aren't getting paid
right
now.
That's the combination. Those two percentages added up are 51%, and those are the stats for 2018.
That's a lot.
That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. And so that defaulted loan sticks with you forever.
Yes.
I mean,
forever.
You know, again, you cannot write that off in a bankruptcy. You can't write that off. It just follows you. You won't be able to get a loan. Like, again, in regards to buying a house, you will not get a home loan if you have defaulted on. So if you have defaulted on a student loan and want to get right, Ronnie, because she can get, I'm sure, programs. She can, right?
Yes.
Even if you've defaulted, not only if you have deferred it, but if it's in default and you want to make it right, it happens.
Yes.
Life happens. Things happen. But if you see Ronnie, if you make an appointment with her, she can look up all the programs that you potentially could qualify for to get it back right.
Correct.
You have to pay this back, or your estate will inherit this debt when you die.
Yes.
And your heirs will have to pay it.
And when you get married, you're a couple now.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We were helping a young couple that wanted to purchase a home, and the husband didn't know about the wife's student loans because she wasn't working in the area that she studied for. And surprise, surprise, it showed up on. And sometimes, you just think if you put your head in the sand, it's going to go away. These don't go away. They are there. They follow you around forever.
Did it default, or was it in deferment?
She was in default. She was in
And she
default
just-
and didn't know about it. They had moved a few times, so between
just will go away.
yeah.
How much more had it accrued in like the balance of it? Like it had doubled by that time?
Oh my gosh, it was like $15,000 more than what she had even thought of.
Yeah.
Or even that we had even borrowed to begin with.
I mean, that was mine. I borrowed $10,000 and it turned into $30,000.
Yeah.
It defaulted.
Yeah.
Hey, like everyone else, I'm no saint. I've made bad financial choices. I've had a bankruptcy. I've had a short sale. I've had
We've
a
all been there.
foreclosure. It's life, right? But when I went to make it right, I owed 3 times what I borrowed.
Yes.
But
the power of compounding interest was working against you
Yeah.
instead of for you.
so do you know this question? If I default on a student loan, does the interest go up? Do you know
That's
that
a
answer?
good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that either, but I think when you're in deferment, it's under control. It's not like it doesn't like accelerate too fast, does it?
They still charge you compound interest.
You do pay compound interest, but it's a fixed rate, right?
I believe so.
I believe so. And then when it defaults, it's out of control. Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody might know that answer.
Hopefully we can prevent it before it happens. We're helping a lot of people that want to qualify to buy a home but can't because this is on their credit report. So
What happened with the couple that she forgot about it? It defaulted. They got married. And did you get them into a program to get that right?
We're still working with them. We're getting them on a savings plan so that how the deal we presented to them was we put it all in writing and showed them how much money they would be paying over the term of the loan, what it would be at the end of the term in regard to the 1099 that they would owe. And it turns out it was better for them to pay the smaller amount per month, at least get them on a monthly payment, and at the end of the 20 years, they'll have the tax, but we have them in a savings plan where they're saving that money, and then they'll have that available to pay the tax. It's less, they'll owe less doing it that way than paying out.
That's awesome. So you give them options. So
yes.
when you're researching plans based on their specific circumstances,
yes.
you give them options of you could do it this way or do it this way. This is the outcome when you're done. This is the outcome when you're done. What do you want to do?
Right.
And then that's when they agree, this is the plan I want to do, and they pay you for your services.
Right. Well, we're not doing anyone a service if we get them into something and then at the end of the term, whatever the number of years may be, if we haven't prepared them by making them aware of what's going to be owed, instead of having a student loan debt, they're going to have a huge tax debt. So if they're not prepared for the tax debt, what good have we really done them? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a twofold process. This is what you're going to pay. This is what's going to be owed at the end of the term. However, in this vehicle that we are going to put you in to save that money, we're going to have you in a positive program where interest is going to be compounding for you. It's going to be growing in an account that you'll have access to pay that tax debt. Because you have to pay it either way.
Yeah, you have to. The gangsters will come after you.
They
the
will.
IRS
They
gangsters will come
They
after
will.
you. They are getting theirs.
That reminds me, I printed this quote because Ronald Reagan, the most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Ronald Reagan said that. And I quote it a lot. I quote him a lot because look out.
Yeah.
They're here to help.
Yeah.
They've enslaved us.
Hey, well, that's you got to pay it. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do to plan ahead?
Yeah.
What are some other stats that you have in regards to housing and student loan debt? I know you had, or any other interesting stats? Because I know you came prepared with a lot of stats.
Well,
And people love stats.
yes, they do. The first-time home buyers in 1980 were 40% of the population.
First-time home buyers?
Mm-hmm. First-time home buyers now are 32%. That's gone down 8%. It's the worst rate in 40 years. the debt to interest with student loan debt, it affects buying a house, it affects buying a car, it affects getting credit for consumables. So when we talk about a student loan crisis, this affects all of us because the buying power of everybody has gone down with the fact that they're not seeing people like you to buy a house, or they're coming to buy a house and
but they can't qualify because of their student loan debt.
Yeah, so that affects all of this. I mean, even if you don't have a student loan debt, this is affecting our economy because all these people are out there not spending money that they ordinarily would have.
Yeah, in the communities and keeping the construction workers working,
Right.
Everybody that's built. I mean, in our local market, we have a lot of service industry. We have a lot of construction.
Correct.
We have a thriving community of work available for people. But if people aren't buying houses, we're kind of
everything's attached to
Yeah.
it. All the trades and all the other people, even the title company, it affects,
it all comes back to our
does.
community.
It's a huge ripple effect.
That's huge. So what are so you had spoke about putting, because you're in the financial industry, putting this money into a vehicle for them to pay their 1099 tax, their tax obligation at the end of their forgiven debt. What does that look like?
Well,
Briefly, I know it can be different for everybody, but what is
each person is different. We give the couple or individual a full personal financial checkup, and we see what vehicle, whether it be there are life insurance programs and products out there that accumulate a cash value and have money that is compounded, 7 to 9%. So over the course of 20 years, your money grows. That's one way. They're called Index Universal Life. We use the power. There's the 72 rule. If you take the amount of interest that you're earning on your money divided by 72, that equals the number of years it takes for your money to double. So some of our programs, typically speaking, your money could double every 10 years or less.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We give them a snowball at the top of a mountain that we want to accumulate lots of snow as it's growing and growing and growing, and then eventually there's enough money in there to cover their debt.
So you do lots more things than just help people with their student loan debt.
Correct. There's lots of pieces to the puzzle
of vehicles that you can help people with their finances.
Yes,
that's awesome. Any other examples of people you've helped with student loan debt that you can think of that was like, people love real examples. That's why I love people winning. I love to hear people winning, and I know personally how student loan debt can feel like a heavy burden on your shoulders. And even though I only had at one time $30,000, it was just like, once it grew to be so much, it was like I didn't know where to start. And after it was done, I just felt like a weight had been lifted off of me.
Oh, yes.
Any other stories you can share with us about?
There's a couple that we're working with right now. It's kind of an unfortunate situation. The parents are in their 60s. Dad's getting ready to start collecting his Social Security and finds out that it's going to be garnished because of his son's student loans that
he co-signed for.
So not only is this man wanting to work less and enjoy a little bit of time with his wife, he finds out the money that he thought he could count on, even though Social Security is going to be gone they estimate that to be gone by 2023.
Yeah, but Social Security is only less than a couple grand a month. I mean, depending, but it's not much.
Yeah, it was a supplement to his retirement, which he finds out that $300 less than what he thought he was going to receive is huge for this family.
That's food for someone.
Yeah, it's huge. So
that's a good point.
We have a solution. We have a solution for this couple. They were also wanting to refinance their house, and this loan is showing up on their credit report. We're in the midst of helping them, and this man. I mean, they're the sweetest people, and I want to help them so much. And there is a program that they're qualified for, and we're working on them now. We haven't put it to bed completely, but we're working on it, and it's been about 6 weeks it's taken.
Was that student loan in default? Did the son not pay anything towards it?
He had not paid any payments towards it.
So what, it was in default or no? Deferment?
It was in deferment. He had deferred it and not made any payments on it.
So just so everybody's clear, deferment just means, and it's for a certain amount of time. I'm not sure how long or if it's different for everyone, but like while you're going to school, you don't have to make payments on it. You usually make an agreement that at X time,
Correct.
You'll start making payments. Maybe let's call it 5 years. So it gives me time to get through school, get a job, and start making payments. But you're still getting charged interest that whole time. It's not like it's free.
No.
But that's the difference between deferment and default. Obviously, is not paying it after, whether it's in after the time of deferment. Like you haven't made any payments.
Right.
That's an unfortunate story.
Yeah.
That's really
it's
sad.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, they're barely on a fixed income as it is, and then to find out, and the even saddest part of this story is the young man is not working in the field that he graduated from. That he got his degree. It was
That's typical.
It was a like sound engineer or whatnot. He's not even working in that field.
That's a terrible story. And then they can't even refinance because of that. And that's it. Guys, debt doesn't just disappear.
No.
It no matter what you're looking at. I mean, even credit card debt. It's like somebody has to pay for it down the road eventually.
Yeah, legislation is being passed also that the employers can garnish your wages, or the government is instructing employers to start garnishing wages.
For what?
For student loan debts.
Student loan debt.
So student loan debts can now be garnished. There's also, I just read an article, new legislation out there that if you are in default for your profession, let's say you went to massage therapy school and took out a student loan for that, and you have to have a license to be a massage therapist. There are some states that are revoking that status. So not only are you not paying back your debt, but now you're not going to be able to work in the field that you got the certificate for, because they're going to revoke the certificate that you earned to get it. It's like, how do you expect them to even pay it back if you can't work?
Well, that's the severity of the repayment of the student loans, though. It's like
so important.
The next collapse of the economy because of all the stats she read of how huge this is.
It's huge.
It's such a problem. I have a client, this is in regards to tax debt. She had contacted me recently and she needed a tax attorney. She can't renew her passport because they will not let her renew her passport because she has tax debt that she needs to take care of.
That's a new one. I had not heard that. That's frightening.
Yeah. And hey, they're gangsters. I'm telling you, they are gangsters. They are not.
They're
having
OG gangsters.
I'm saying. So they're not going. Look, you need to repay it. That's just the bottom line.
You have to get on something. You have to take responsibility for it.
You know what's so funny though? This particular client, she's a great friend. I love her, and she. But when she heard she can't renew her passport, she got in action, man.
Yeah, right?
She was like, this is serious business.
Yeah.
And
It's interesting what it takes to interrupt the thought process of this. So hopefully with this information, we're disturbing the thought process here of putting your head in the sand. You've got to deal with it. It's not going away. Your children will inherit this debt.
This conversation is so interesting because even during the crash in Vegas was one of the hardest hit areas. Mm-hmm. We boomed up really quick and we crashed really quick. The same thing happened with foreclosure and short sales.
Yes.
People, because it has to do with money, there's a certain pride, there's a certain, I don't want to say I don't know what I'm doing. And I saw the need and I jumped in there and became the short sale queen of Las Vegas. Hopefully, I got another phone call. Hopefully, it's not going to affect our video. But again, people put their head in the sand when it comes to financial things.
Yes.
And based on this conversation about student loan debt, there are solutions. Short sales and foreclosures, when stuff dives, and there are solutions. And I was so fortunate to be able to help so many people during a time that people's mental health and was really in the dumps. Student loan debt can do the same thing.
Yes.
Any type of debt can do the same thing. But get in contact with Ronnie. Get in contact or someone. If they're in another state, can you still help them?
We can do Zoom or FaceTime something. Yes.
Her information is tagged on this video. You'll have all ways to get in contact with her. There are solutions. That's my point. There are solutions when you're in trouble to figure out a way out. Just reach out. I mean, like I said, the same thing. I had a bankruptcy and a short sale and a foreclosure, and I shriveled up at the time. I didn't want to say. I didn't know what to do. And again, when it's embarrassing and it's hard.
It is.
But when you can reach out to somebody that you trust, it is a big burden lifted off your shoulders. Do you have any other things you want to share with us?
As of 2016, a record 8.1 million Americans had stopped making payments. Yikes. And 1 out of 6 of us have a student loan. So I know you guys are all out there. I kind of equated to let's just rip off the Band-Aid really fast.
Let's just go for it. This is a safe place. Contact Ronnie. She's a good human being. She's not any fly-by-night scammer. Let's, what a slick willy salesman is what I call him. I mean, she's a. Were you born here?
Practically. We moved here when I was 4.
Yeah. So raised in Vegas, raised her son, her family. Her father just passed away, unfortunately. But locally, and I mean, we're solid people in the community.
Yes.
Contribution. She gives. Her son is he still playing soccer?
He's onto wrestling, track, and he's negotiating with me. Yes, girls. And he's negotiating over football. I'm still on the fence about letting him play football.
He would be good at football.
I know.
Just let him be a boy.
I
know,
just
let him go.
It's hard being a mom by yourself. No. I'm like, I watch him play, like even wrestling. I'm watching him like this because it's frightening. However,
he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's strong.
Yeah.
He can. He'll be okay.
He'll be good.
Yeah. But she's a good, solid person in the community that, and if she can't help you, she'll direct you in the right way of someone that can.
Exactly.
Just like myself. And
there's no obligation for you to just talk to me.
Yeah.
There's no. It's just what I do.
And if you decide that you want to research some of these programs yourself, do it.
Yes.
This is the thing. The internet is amazing.
Right.
It's all out there.
Exactly.
It's just if you want her expertise to come in and they already know the navigation process, I would rather pay somebody that knows what they're doing than have to spend all those hours of knocking my head against the wall to...
I went through the process. I paid the fee myself and I've handled my loan the same way.
Yeah.
So I'm firsthand knowledge.
And you've done it yourself. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Alfredo, I'm in the Philippines. Can you help Alfredo in the Philippines?
Sure.
Hey, that's the beauty of the internet. We can do Zoom on the phone. We can FaceTime. We can whatever. Yeah. It's so cool. Alfredo, her information will be on this video. Just connect with her.
Kristen has really good eyes. She can read that.
They're going. That's what I'm like. I can't see. Ronnie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
This was great.
Yeah, it's if you guys find this video valuable, share it, tag somebody on it, somebody that needs to hear this information. The idea of Pack Leaders in Real Estate Project is to add value to the community.
Yes.
You don't have to buy or sell a house with me. I just want to add information. These are stuff we do all the time, and it's stuff that we are experts in. And I just want to share some information. It's not all about sales. Yes, right. I sell houses, but there's so much...
We're human beings.
Yeah, we're human beings, and we just want to share and add value to the market for people to, if we're not the fit for you, go into your community and find someone that's a fit for you to help you through whatever you're going through. But thank you, my friend, for coming and sharing, and
I appreciate
and we'll
you.
do it again.
I appreciate you for inviting me.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
this
good.
is wonderful.
Yeah, it's cool. And if you guys have any ideas of anything that you'd like to hear about, let us know. I like having these chats with people that I trust. You know, I'm not going to bring just anybody on here and talk about stuff because that's important to me.
Yeah.
So, and I want to introduce you to
If you've
someone.
been vetted by Kristen Griffin, that says a lot.
It's a big deal.
I'm telling you, it's clout. I have clout now.
That's true. And just like anything, like when people call me and they need a contractor, they need a flooring person, they need a whatever, I don't just send them to anybody because that's my reputation too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys are awesome. Let us know if you have any questions. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.